Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're re-talking about something that many of you have asked for. How to improve your English at work, but without the stress and anxiety that usually comes with it. I know what it's like. You want to feel more confident in meetings, write better emails, and just communicate more smoothly with your international colleagues. But the idea of studying complex grammar rules after a long day at work? So, I'm going to share 5 simple, practical, and stress-free ways to boost your professional English. These aren't about memorizing textbooks. They're about integrating English into your daily work life in a way that feels natural and manageable. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear action plan that you can start using tomorrow. Ready? Let's dive in. The first and most important tip is to start with daily work phrases, not grammar rules. Forget those thick grammar books for now. The fastest way to sound more professional and confident is to master the common sentences you hear and use in the office every single day. Textbooks teach you formal, often outdated English. Your workplace has its own language. Think about it. What are the phrases you hear all the time? Things like, "I'll follow up on this," or "let me check and get back to you." Another common one is, "Could you clarify what you mean by that?" These are the building blocks of workplace communication. They're practical, immediately useful, and they make you sound competent. Here's a simple challenge for you. Pick just 3 new phrases each day. Write them down on a sticky note and stick it to your monitor. Your goal is to use each of them at least once during the day. For example, your 3 phrases for Monday could be, "I'll circle back with you later. What's the status on the project? And let's touch base tomorrow morning." By focusing on only 3, you won't feel overwhelmed. It's a small, achievable goal. Over a week, that's 15 new professional phrases you've not only learned, but actually used in a real context. This method builds practical vocabulary and muscle memory. Start speaking like your colleagues naturally, without having to stop and translate every word in your head. It's about communication, not conjugation. So start listening for those common phrases tomorrow and make them your own. Our second strategy is all about turning your existing daily tasks into English practice. You do a need to find extra time to study when you can use the time you already have. This is one of the most efficient ways to learn because it requires 0 extra minutes in your schedule. Let's start with emails. Before you hit send on your next email, try reading it out loud to yourself. This might feel a little strange at first, but it is incredibly powerful. When you read your writing aloud, you catch awkward phrasing, typos, and grammatical mistakes that your eyes might miss. I'll start to notice if your sentences are too long or if your tone doesn't sound right. It's like being your own editor. Next, start thinking in English while you do simple tasks. When you're making coffee, organizing your files, or walking to a meeting, try to narrate your actions in your head in English. "I'm pouring the water now. I need to find that sales report. I hope this meeting is quick." This internal monologue practice is a low-pressure way to get your brain used to forming English sentences automatically. You can even take this a step further. You're working on a task at your desk. Quietly describe what you're doing. Just a soft whisper to yourself is enough. "Okay, I'm updating the report now. I need to change this number here. Then I will save it as a PDF." This habit connects your actions directly with English words, strengthening the association and making your speech more fluid over time. The goal is to make English a background process in your mind, not a special event you have to prepare for. The third tip is a game changer, especially if speaking makes you nervous, and that is listen more than you speak. This might sound counterintuitive. Don't I need to practice speaking to get better? Yes, but active, intentional listening is one of the most underrated learning tools. Stress-free learning at its best. In your next meeting or conversation, shift your focus from what am I going to say next to what are they really saying and how are they saying it. Pay close attention to how your native speaking or fluent colleagues start conversations. How do they politely interrupt? How do they express agreement or disagreement? Notice the specific phrases they use. They probably don't say, "I disagree with your opinion." They might say something softer, like, "That's a valid point, but have we considered, or I see it a bit differently." These are the golden phrases you want to collect. Your goal here is not to copy entire long sentences, which can be difficult and stressful. Instead, focus on their tone of voice and the short, functional phrases they use to manage the conversation. Listen for things like, "just to add to that, ... or on a related note, ... or. That makes sense. These are easy to remember and easy to use. By becoming a better listener, you absorb the rhythm, melody, and social cues of workplace English. You learn the unwritten rules of communication. This takes all the pressure off you to perform. You're simply a detective gathering clues. Then, when you do speak, you can start incorporating these small phrases you've collected. It feels more natural and much less intimidating. Now for our fourth point, and this one is a mindset shift that will free you from so much stress. Use simple English, not perfect English. Let me repeat that. The goal is clear communication, not perfect grammar. Many learners get stuck because they're afraid of making mistakes. They try to build long, complex sentences to sound impressive, but they end up getting tangled in grammar and lose their confidence. The truth is, in a professional environment, clarity is king. Short, simple sentences are powerful. They are easy for you to say and easy for your listener to understand. Compare these two sentences. Notwithstanding the aforementioned data, it would be prudent for us to reconsider our strategic implementation. Versus this data suggests we should rethink our plan. Which one is better? The second one, of course. It's clear, direct, and confident. Embrace the power of simplicity. Use basic vocabulary that you know well. Connect your ideas with simple words like and, but, and so. Your colleagues will appreciate your clarity much more than your attempt at complex sentence structures. And please, remember that making mistakes is a natural and essential part of growth. No one expects you to be perfect. Every single person learning a language makes mistakes, and native speakers make mistakes. The key is to not let the fear of error stop you from speaking. Fluency grows from practice, not from perfection. Each time you speak, you get a little better, a little more confident. So give yourself permission to be imperfect. Focus on getting your message across clearly and simply. That's what truly matters at work. Finally, our fifth and final strategy is to practice one small habit every single day. Consistency is far more powerful than intensity. Studying English for 5 hours one Saturday is less effective than practicing for just 5 or 10 minutes every single day. It's the daily repetition that builds lasting skill and confidence. The key is to make the habit so small and easy that you couldn't say no to it. Don't set a goal to become fluent in English. It's too big and vague. Instead, choose one tiny, specific action. Here are some ideas. You could commit to speaking English to yourself for just 5 minutes while you get ready for work. Or, make it a goal to have one short, casual conversation in English with a colleague each day, even if it's just asking how was your weekend. Another great habit is to write just 3 simple sentences in a journal about your workday before you log off. Today, I finished the sales report. The meeting about the new project was interesting. Tomorrow, I need to call the supplier. These tiny actions might not feel like much on any given day, but when you do them consistently, the results are incredible. Think about it. After a month, you'll have had over 2 hours of extra speaking practice, or written nearly 100 sentences about your work. This is how real progress happens, not through grand, stressful study sessions, but through small, consistent daily habits. Each time you complete your small habit, you get a little win. You build momentum. The fear of speaking starts to fade, replaced by a growing sense of confidence. You'll start to see real, tangible improvement in your workplace communication, and it will feel effortless. So, to recap our 5 strategies. First, focus on daily work phrases, not grammar. Second, turn your daily tasks into English practice. Third, listen more than you speak to learn naturally. Fourth, use simple English for clear communication and forget about being perfect. And fifth, build one small, consistent daily habit so you don't need perfect English to succeed at work. You don't need to spend hours studying or feel stressed about it. What you need are daily small habits. You need simple English. That is what leads to real progress. Start with just one of these tips this week. Pick the one that feels easiest and most enjoyable for you. I promise that if you stick with it, you will be amazed at how much more confident and capable you feel at work. Thank you so much for watching. If you found these tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more practical advice on professional development. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which one of these tips are you going to try first? Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.